Light travels slowly to the cosmos, perfectly to us. Every photon that enters our eyes tonight began its journey long before humanity existed, long before Earth had oceans, forests, breath. A telescope does not only magnify distance, it magnifies time. It stretches a thread between now and then, letting us touch moments that ended millions or billions of years before we ever arrived to witness them. This is the quiet miracle. When we lift glass to the sky, we are not looking at what is. We are looking at what was. Stars we see now may already be gone. Galaxies may have drifted, collided, or faded into darkness. Yet their light continues forward, patient and unwavering, crossing the black ocean of space to reach the fragile surface of a human eye. And so, with a telescope, we do not simply look outward. We look backward. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast lake at dawn. The water reflects mountains, clouds, the birth of light. But the reflection is delayed, a moment behind reality. Space works the same way. The deeper we peer, the older the reflection becomes. With small telescopes, we see stars a few hundred light years away. With large instruments, we see galaxies as they were before humanity's first ancestor crawled from the sea. With space telescopes like Hubble and James Webb, we see the early universe, childhood shaped in silence and stretched by expansion. A telescope is a time machine crafted from glass, metal, and patience. It gathers ancient light like pages from a book scattered across the cosmos. It reads a history written in photons, a story so old no voice could ever speak it aloud. In that faint glow exists memory of stars forming, collapsing, scattering elements that would one day become planets, oceans, eyes capable of looking back. We are observers, but also descendants of what we observe. We look into past that created us. As you breathe slowly, feel how strange and beautiful this is. That the night sky is not a view, but a timeline. Each star is a moment ago. Each galaxy is millions of years behind us. And with every improvement in telescope, we step deeper into history. The universe reveals itself layer by layer, like curtains parting in endless theater. Looking into space is looking into memory of existence. Even darkness contains story. A region where no light reaches us is not empty, only unseen. Light may still be traveling, not yet arrived. The universe is vast enough that seeing everything is impossible. Yet telescopes allow us to see enough to understand the shape of what cannot be reached. They extend vision beyond the boundaries of the human eye, turning darkness into distance, and distance into time. The further the light has traveled, the older it is. The further we look, the earlier we witness. With a telescope, we watch galaxies form like sparks from cosmic fire. We watch them stretch into spirals and collide like tides of stars. We witness ancient supernovae, explosions so bright they outshine entire galaxies for moments that last millions of years. We see cosmic microwave background, faint afterglow of the Big Bang, the oldest light in existence, whisper of creation itself. The universe does not hide the past. It shines it toward us. Not because we deserve to see it, but because light cannot help but travel. Every photon is messenger. Every telescope is an ear pressed against the infinite wall of history, listening to echoes from before time had shape. And we, tiny and temporary, become witness to dawn of everything. A telescope bends distance into memory. It lets us watch the universe grow up, not in present tense, but in fragments of ancient glow, not as it is, but as it was. And this, more than discovery, more than science, is wonder. We are creatures capable of watching time itself. Time is not a river that we watch from the shore. It is ocean, and we float inside it. Yet we cannot swim both directions. We move forward only. Seconds flow into minutes, days into years, and never once does time turn back to let us witness what is already past. But light can. Light is memory traveling, and telescopes are the vessels we build to catch it. When we look at the moon through glass, we see it as it was 1.5 seconds ago, already history. When we observe the sun, we witness it as it appeared 8 minutes before. Even the most ordinary star is a story written long before we were born. Light is messenger of time, and telescopes are how we learn to read its language. Imagine standing beneath the night sky with no tools, only eyes. You see specks of light, elegant, ancient, silent. But your eyes are small windows. They gather little light, reveal little history. A telescope widens that window. It captures more photons, more memory, more past. With each increase in diameter, more ancient light arrives, more history becomes visible. A small backyard telescope might show a nebula whose light began its journey when mammoths still walked the Earth. A larger reflector reveals galaxies whose photons first moved when dinosaurs ruled. The most powerful observatories on mountain peaks or floating in orbit show us the universe as a child. Barely a few 100 million years old, still forming its first stars. With every meter of mirror, we step further back in time. Think of it like sound. A whisper just beyond hearing becomes clear when amplified. Telescopes amplify light. They take something too faint to see, ancient radiance stretched thin across time, and gather it, focus it, sharpen it until past becomes present in our vision. The universe streams photons toward us endlessly, like rain across eternity. But only lenses and mirrors built by human hands allow us to hold out a cup. There is poetry in this. Humanity, brief and fragile, catching the light of stars long dead. Now imagine the Hubble Space Telescope, a machine of mirrors and precision hanging in silent orbit above weather and war and noise. When Hubble pointed toward a patch of cielo no larger than a grain of sand held at arm's length, astronomers expected to see nothing. Instead, they saw thousands of galaxies, each one containing hundreds of billions of suns, each image older than every human civilization. They looked into darkness and found the past staring back. And James Webb, with its golden honeycomb eyes, looks even deeper. It sees wavelengths stretched by expansion of the universe. Light so ancient, it survived cosmic dawn. Webb is not watching galaxies as they are, but as they first breathed fire into space. Every exposure is archaeology of existence. Every infrared photon is a fossil of creation. We are the first species to watch the universe grow up in reverse. With telescopes, we do not merely observe, we travel. Not through space, but through time. We witness star nurseries forming like sparks in cold. We watch supernovae fade like dying suns from a past that no longer exists. We detect exoplanets orbiting ancient stars, wondering whether eyes once looked back. A telescope is bridge between what was and what is. It allows us to stand in present and hold hands with ancient cosmos. It shows us the universe is not static. It evolves. Galaxies rotate like galaxies in slow heartbeat. Nebulae expand, collapse, recycle themselves. Even stars are born, burn, and return to dust like cycles of breath. And dust becomes planets. Planets become oceans. Oceans become life. Life becomes awareness staring back. This is not metaphor. It is physics. You are built from stardust older than Earth. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs were forged inside stellar furnaces long before humans existed. When a telescope looks into past, it looks into your origin. We do not watch history. We witness ancestry. Time through a telescope feels quiet, like snow falling. No rush, no urgency. Light arrives when it arrives. The universe is patient where we are not. It waited billions of years for eyes to evolve that could understand what light carries. All we must do is listen. Every photon that touches a telescope mirror brings news, not of our world, but of countless worlds before it. Some collapsed into black holes, never reaching maturity. Others spawned civilizations we will never know. Maybe somewhere light still travels from a world where beings once looked at their sky and wondered what lay beyond, just as we do. We catch their questions in faint radiation. We may never know their answers. As you breathe gently, imagine telescopes not as machines, but as memories extended, cavities of glass and gold reaching backward into time. Humanity stretching its vision across billions of years, touching origin with fingertips made of carbon that once burned inside stars. We are not looking at universe as it is. We are looking at the universe becoming. Telescopes let us witness what time tries to hide. They let us walk backward through history made of light. They show us that past is not gone. It simply waits at great distance. Every night sky is a window. Every telescope is a key. And with it, we unlock the past. When we stare through a telescope, we are not watching motion. We are watching memory unfold. Time becomes visible, stretched like an ancient film projected across the sky. What we call space is really a museum of light. And we wander through its corridors slowly, carefully, gathering pieces of what once was. Every observation is archaeology. Every photon is an artifact. A telescope is the brush, and darkness is the sand we dust away. Think of light as story. It leaves a star, carrying news of fusion and fire, of planets and storms, of worlds we will never stand upon. It travels through vacuum where there is no sound, no friction, no wind, only distance. Light crosses millions of years without aging, without forgetting where it came from. When it reaches us, we do not see star as it is. We see star as it was when the first humans lit fires in caves, when continents still drifted differently, when oceans were younger. We are witnesses to events long finished. Some of the stars we admire have already died. Some galaxies we photograph today no longer exist in the same form. Yet their light continues on, like echo of voice long after speaker is gone. A telescope is microphone pressed to eternity, recording whisper older than Earth. The deeper we peer into cosmos, the younger the universe becomes. Look close, and we see spiral arms and bright nebulae, recent chapters. Look deeper, and we find dimmer galaxies, red shifted and stretched like old parchment. Look deeper still, and light itself becomes thin, fragile, like memory almost forgotten. This is how telescopes let us travel backwards, not by breaking time, but by reading its residue. Distance is time. Light is history. The cosmos is archive. And the most extraordinary truth is this: every telescope is limited not by what exists, but by how much time light has had to reach us. The observable universe is not wall. It is horizon of arrival. Beyond it, galaxies may burn forever, but we cannot see them yet. Their light is still on its way, crossing spaces where time stretches and gravity bends path, like river bends riverbank. We are waiting for tomorrow's galaxies to become visible. The universe is larger than the light that has reached us, and telescopes are ships we sail to meet it. Consider James Webb. Its golden hexagons open like flower in darkness, absorbing warmth of early cosmos. It sees wavelengths human eyes will never see. It detects stars formed when universe was still a child, when matter was young and gravity was first learning its pull. Webb looks across 13.5 billion years, not by force, but by patience. It waits for ancient light to arrive, and when it does, it listens. A telescope does not chase the past. It receives it. Even radio telescopes, giant dishes listening to cold sky, capture signals so faint that they barely exist. Static becomes structure. Noise becomes map. We discover pulsars, quasars, radio galaxies roaring like cosmic engines before Earth was dust. We find structure in universe like glowing threads, filaments stretching between clusters like veins of creation. We see the skeleton of time. But telescopes do more than watch. They translate. A star's color reveals temperature. Spectrum reveals chemistry. Wavelength reveals motion. By studying faint light, we rebuild events older than language. We know what stars were made of billions of years ago. We know when galaxies collided, merged, birthed new suns. We know when universe was dense and hot like newborn flame. When first atoms formed, when darkness cooled enough to allow light to travel freely. We read history by measuring photons. And somewhere in that story, we appear. Late arrivals, small observers standing on one small world. Yet we hold in hand the ability to watch birth of galaxies, death of suns, and echo of Big Bang itself. We are young creatures with ancient knowledge, not because we lived through it, but because light did. Telescopes are how we borrow memory from cosmos. It humbles us to know universe does not hide its past, it illuminates it. Stars do not whisper, they shout across millennia. Galaxies do not fade silently, they pour light into infinity. Even the beginning of time leaves faint glow, cosmic microwave background, like embers after fire. Telescopes are hands we use to hold those embers, to warm ourselves with history older than thought. We are not isolated from past. We sit inside it. Every night the sky is not above us, but around us. We float inside time like leaf inside river. Telescopes help us see flow instead of drift. We follow current backward, through epochs, through cosmic winter and spring, until universe becomes child again. We are not looking outward, we are falling backward into origin. And as we fall, we learn. Past is not lost. It is written in light. Every photon that reaches us is a page. Telescopes are how we turn them. We do not need time machine. We already built one. It stands beneath stars, waiting for us to look. To understand how telescopes let us see into the past, we must first accept a quiet, almost poetic truth. Nothing we see is happening now. The universe offers no real-time view. Every glimpse is delayed. Every star is a memory. Even the most familiar light in the sky, the gleam of our sun, reaches us after it has aged 8 minutes. We live surrounded not by what is, but by what was. A telescope does not fix this delay. It reveals it. It stretches perception outward like lungs expanding in cold air. The eye sees seconds into history. A telescope sees centuries, millennia, entire eras. With better mirrors, deeper exposures, more patient sensors, we step further backward with every improvement in glass. Astronomy is time travel where the speed of wonder replaces the speed of light. Through a modest telescope, we witness Orion Nebula as it appeared long before cities or language. Through larger apertures, we uncover galaxies whose starlight began its journey when Earth was barren stone beneath forming oceans. Through Webb, we see light that started traveling when the universe had barely begun. A cosmic infant wrapped in hydrogen and darkness. We are not looking at distance. We are looking at age. Light year is not measure of space, it is measure of time. 1 million light-years means a million-year-old message. When a deep-energy photon falls into a telescope mirror, it carries history not written in words, but in wavelength. It is memory encoded in color. Redshifts tell us how long the universe has been stretching during the photon's travel. Temperature tells us era. Brightness tells us distance. Chemistry tells us ancestry. A telescope is not tool of sight. It is instrument of understanding. And yet, the most beautiful part is still invisible. While we observe past, the universe continues to move, expand, evolve. If we look deep enough, we might see galaxies younger than any that exist today. Galaxies still igniting their first stars. And beyond them, just out of reach, are galaxies too new for their light to arrive at all. Telescopes show us everything the universe has allowed to reach us so far. Anything farther back lies not in darkness, but in future illumination. Their photons have simply not completed the journey. The universe is old, but wide enough that not all of its past has arrived. Tomorrow brings more history to see. We live in a slow snowfall of ancient starlight, and we catch flakes with silver mirrors. There is something profoundly human about building machines to capture what time has already abandoned. A star explodes and dies, and 1,000 millennia later, we see it bloom across night like a ghost flower. Light carries tragedy and beauty equally, without preference. Telescopes do not judge what they reveal. They only open their hands to receive it. Perhaps that is why the night sky feels like memory not fully ours, yet deeply familiar. Because we are made of the same past we observe. Every element heavier than hydrogen was born inside a star we no longer see. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the carbon in every breath, all forged in a furnace billions of years before humans learned to look up. When telescopes show us dying suns, we are seeing ancestral fires, the ones that gave us form. A telescope lets us meet our origin as witness instead of myth. As you breathe, imagine watching light not as illumination, but as time itself. The beam that leaves a telescope lens is not just photons. It is history redirected toward awareness. When we align a mirror with a distant galaxy, we are aligning ourselves with its past. For a moment, across billions of years, we are connected. We are looking at a moment frozen in travel. If we could see the universe as it is now, all at once, it would be unrecognizable. Galaxies we see today might have merged into new forms. Stars we admire might have extinguished into quiet ash. Black holes might have swallowed suns like pebbles in tide. We watch the cosmic film backward, not forward. Telescopes rewind reality, slowly, delicately, with photons as frame and night as screen. And the deeper we look, the further back the reel extends, until we reach light from the first epoch, when darkness first cracked open into fire and matter. We are watching the dawn of everything we know. Telescopes are the eyes of time. We do not peer into universe, we peer into memory. And memory is endless. There is a gentle strangeness in knowing that everything we see in the sky has already happened. Light is always late. Space is always a memory. And when we magnify that memory with telescopes, we step deeper into what has already passed. Like walking backward through a corridor lined with ancient candles, each one a star, each flame a story that left its home long before we existed to witness it. To understand this fully, imagine a star 10 light-years away. If it explodes today, we will not know for 10 years. Its light still travels through space, innocent and unchanged, showing us a star that may no longer be there. The universe we see is ghost of itself, a preserved photograph in motion. But telescopes let us trace this ghost further. A small piece of glass shows us nearby stars as they were years ago. A powerful mirror shows us clusters as they were millions of years ago. And instruments like Webb let us see galaxies as they were billions of years before our species evolved sight. A telescope is not only magnification, it is revelation of age. When we turn a telescope toward something faint and distant, we do not make it brighter. We gather more of its past. The human eye captures only a small handful of photons each second from a distant galaxy. A telescope, with its wide mirror, gathers hundreds, thousands, millions. It holds light like a bowl holds water. Even the faintest glow becomes a river of time, flowing into us. And in that flow, we begin to understand history not as story behind us, but as light still arriving. It is easy to forget that we stand on a planet spinning through space, orbiting a star, drifting through a galaxy that drifts through a greater web of galaxies, all while light from long-dead suns rains across us like cosmic snow. A telescope is an umbrella turned upside down, catching flakes of the past. Sometimes those flakes are gentle, soft nebulae where new stars are born like luminous seeds. Sometimes they are violent, shock waves of supernovae, where suns tear themselves apart and scatter the ingredients of life across darkness. Calcium of bone, iron of blood, carbon of breath. Without those ancient explosions, we would not exist to observe them. Through telescope, we watch our own origin detonate. We see the universe rehearse creation endlessly, star after star like inhale and exhale of cosmic lungs. Birth is not singular. It happens continually. With every glimpse backward, we witness earlier breath. We see universe younger, hotter, wilder than anything we know today. We see galaxies collide like tides colliding. We see worlds form, melt, reform. We see time folding into itself like fabric still being woven. Looking through telescope is looking into childhood of reality. And with every meter of mirror, childhood grows younger. Webb does not show galaxies near maturity. It shows cosmic infancy. It shows first stars forming like sparks from primordial darkness. It shows early ingredients of everything that would one day become planets, oceans, consciousness. It shows us what our past looked like before our past existed. And we are not only observers, we are beneficiaries of that light. Every photon collected by a telescope is a gift that survived unimaginable distance, gravity wells, intergalactic dust, cosmic expansion. Many photons never make it. The ones that do arrive like survivors of time. A telescope is a monument to the idea that history wants to be seen. If we point a telescope toward the same patch of sky for long enough, new galaxies appear, ones too faint to notice in a moment, but visible as time accumulates. This is deep exposure, not of image, but of patience. To see the past, one must wait. Telescopes do not rush. They breathe slowly. They let photons gather like rain fills a cup. And when full, history becomes visible. We look not by speed, but by stillness. And in this stillness, we discover that time is layered. Light from various depths arrives together. We see stars billions of years apart in the same field of view. Some young, some ancient, all glowing at once. A single image becomes stack of eras. Telescopes do not freeze time. They let us see multiple times at once. We see what was, layered atop what was, layered atop what was. The universe is palimpsest, overwritten infinitely, but never erased. As you breathe now, imagine holding ancient light like warm stone in hand. Imagine that the photons touching your skin tonight left their star before humans evolved, before mammals existed, before Earth cooled enough to breathe fog. Telescopes let us not only see those photons, they let us understand them. We read starlight like scripture. Every spectral line is sentence, every wavelength a word. We decipher temperature, age, composition, motion, all from a single beam of light, older than memory itself. Telescopes are not eyes. They are translators. They take silence of stars and turn it into meaning. With them, the universe speaks. It speaks of beginnings, endings, and beginnings again. It speaks of expansion and collision, of hydrogen turning into brilliance, of darkness turning into dawn. It speaks of us, because we are made of what we observe. A telescope pulls time toward us. It lets us step backward without moving, simply by listening. Not to now, but to then. Not to present, but to history carried across cosmic winter. We are not looking up, we are looking back. And through that backward gaze, we learn where we came from. We are not staring into space, we are staring into the past that became us. We often imagine the past as something behind us, but the cosmos teaches otherwise. The past is above us, around us, streaming endlessly into our world through beams of ancient light. We stand not in front of time, but inside it, surrounded by ghosts of stars, memories of galaxies, echoes of creation. And telescopes are how we learn to listen. Every mirror ever built, from the first polished lens of Galileo to the golden petals of James Webb, shares a single purpose: to gather what time has left behind, to slow the fading of cosmic memory, to catch light like rainfall from billions of years ago and turn it into vision. A telescope is not window, it is archive. Imagine an early universe, young and unruly, where hydrogen fog curled through dark, where first stars flickered like newborn candles. Those stars no longer burn. Their worlds no longer spin. But their light does. It crosses the abyss to reach us, old, thin, stretched like breath whispered across eternity. Telescopes do not show us stars. They show us survivors of time. Light is stubborn. It does not forget. Even after 13 billion years, it arrives carrying message of what was. A galaxy glimpsed through Webb today is not a galaxy now. It is cosmic embryo, still assembling its first luminous bones. In that fragile glow lives childhood of everything that exists, including us. We are not just seeing past. We are witnessing infancy of reality. This is how telescopes bend time, not by traveling backward, but by receiving what left long before. No machine reverses seconds. No lens rewinds years. Instead, reality delivers its history to us freely. We need only build instruments patient enough to catch it. When we observe Andromeda through glass, we witness it as it glowed 2.5 million years ago. When early humans first struck stone against stone and called the spark fire. Andromeda we see today is not Andromeda now. Today it is closer, different, older. But we remain anchored to its past because light must cross space at fixed speed. Telescopes remind us we are always late to the universe, gloriously late. But lateness is gift. It allows us to study what no longer exists. It lets us watch cosmic history unfold like slow-burning film, frame by frame delivered across eons. We do not need time machine when every photon is already one. Astronomy is archaeology performed with light. We uncover what fell silent billions of years ago. We reconstruct ancestral galaxies, trace evolution of stars, map expansion of space by measuring how far light has stretched. The universe expands, wavelengths redden, and telescopes decode that reddening into time. Redshift becomes clock. Light becomes calendar. Space becomes story. Even darkness is part of this story. Some parts of sky are black, not because nothing is there, but because light has not arrived yet. Those regions are tomorrow's starlight, future history crossing void. Telescopes reveal what is visible, but they also hint at what remains unseen. Every boundary of observation is invitation inward and outward. Inward to thought, outward to time. The universe is wider than our vision, deeper than our horizon. And yet, with a single telescope, humans expand their reach across billions of years. We look further than any traveler could ever journey. Our eyes do not move, yet we cross distances so great that meaning becomes a kind of silence. A star we observe tonight might have vanished before Earth formed oceans. We witness funeral of something older than everything we know. And still, telescopes give us tenderness, because within that ancient light shines memory of creation, not destruction, but inheritance. Each photon carries story of birth, death, transformation. It carries recipe for worlds, blueprint for life, evidence that cosmos evolves the way forests do, by burning, regrowing, scattering seed into dark soil. Telescopes let us watch life cycle of universe. We see nebulae blooming new stars. We see stellar nurseries shaping planets from dust like potter shapes clay. We see supernovae scatter gold, iron, carbon, the ingredients of blood, bone, brain. Through telescope, we witness moment where physics becomes poetry, where matter becomes meaning, where dead stars become living beings. We are light looking back at light. As you breathe now, imagine yourself holding ancient photons in your mind the way one holds memory of childhood. Soft, unreachable, yet alive. The universe does not give us present, it gives us inheritance. Telescopes are how we unwrap it. We look through glass to remember what we never saw. We travel backward not with engines, but with attention. We watch universe grow younger as we look deeper. We touch time not with hands, but with vision. A telescope is symphony of mirrors, but also symphony of years. Every curve of glass tuned to the music of light. We are creatures who study stars to understand ourselves, because to look into past is to look into origin. And telescopes let us look farther than memory ever could. Telescopes do not show us the universe as it is. They show it as it was. And the deeper we look, the younger everything becomes. It is like diving through layers of time, each deeper than the last, each holding an earlier chapter of reality. We peel back cosmic history not by moving, but by seeing. Distance becomes time. Time becomes sight. When we observe Jupiter through a telescope, we witness moments from 40 minutes ago. When we look at Sirius, we see it as it shone 8 years before this night. When we examine the Sombrero Galaxy, we watch photons born when the first humans shaped tools from stone. And when we stare at the faintest, most distant red-shifted glow in the James Webb Deep Field, we witness the universe as it existed barely a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, long before stars like our sun were born. A telescope is therefore not a lens. It is a time ladder. Each rung is a larger mirror. Each step is deeper past. Humanity's eyes alone can see back seconds. Telescopes let us see back billions of years. Light travels at one fixed speed, a cosmic constant. The universe's one unbroken rule. Nothing outruns it. Nothing brings us the past faster. So the only way to look further back is not to move through time, but to find older light. Telescopes do exactly this. They gather the faintest remaining photons from history's most distant events. They wait long enough for the past to arrive. And it always does. Consider a photon leaving a galaxy 10 billion years ago. It crossed through expanding space, past clusters, stars, dust, voids. It survived black hole pull and cosmic stretching. It reached Earth and landed on a telescope mirror. And because of that moment, we know how early galaxies formed, how stars ignited, how matter began assembling the architecture of existence. We know because light remembers. Now picture yourself at the eyepiece, or staring at data from Webb, Hubble, ALMA, Keck, VLT, machines built not to look forward, but backward. They aim not at future, but at beginning. Telescopes do not show what will be. They show how everything came to be. We are watching the universe rewind, slowly, softly, like an old record played in reverse. Galaxies grow smaller. Stars dim into dust. Nebulae dissolve into hydrogen fog. Eventually, if we look deep enough, even structure fades. And what remains is only microwave background, a faint afterglow of creation, like the final ember of a fire that once filled all existence. The universe is a memory, and telescopes are how we remember it. And yet, there is something more beautiful still. Even as we view the past, we are part of a future someone else might one day see. Our sun's light is traveling outward right now, 8 minutes behind reality. In 4 years, it reaches Alpha Centauri. In thousands of years, it reaches distant stars. In millions, distant galaxies. If another civilization looks toward us from far enough away, they will not see us. They will see Earth as it was long before we existed. Telescopes do not just let us look into the past. They allow others to look into ours. We are part of cosmic record whether we realize it or not. Every planet, every heartbeat, every civilization becomes history written in light, traveling outward forever. In this way, observing through a telescope is like receiving a message and sending one. We are endless witnesses and endless storytellers. We watch the past while becoming someone else's future past. Perhaps in some distant galaxy, beings are observing the early Milky Way, unaware of who we are, unaware of what we will become. Seeing only what once was. We are memory. We are moment. We are message. Looking through a telescope reminds us that nothing is truly gone, not as long as light travels. Even long after Earth is dust, our star will continue its glow across space. Even long after humanity is forgotten, our photons will still wander. We shine before we know we shine. As you breathe softly, consider this quiet truth. To look into space is to look into yesterday. To look deeper is to look into the universe's childhood. To build a telescope is to build a time machine no clock can hold. We do not gaze outward. We gaze backward. We do not escape time. We collect it, and in doing so, we learn not just where stars came from, but where we came from. Because the universe we see is the universe that made us. To look through a telescope is to witness time stretch thin across darkness, a fossil record made of light. We stand in the present, but what we see is never now. We observe a universe that has already happened, long finished, still arriving. And the deeper we peer, the further back the clock winds, like pulling a thread through centuries until we reach the fabric's first weave. A telescope does not conquer distance. It accepts delay. It is patient enough to wait for the past to reach us. Light from a star 50 million light years away is 50 million years old. Light from a galaxy 10 billion light years away, left when no Earth existed, when no atoms inside us yet belonged to anything but interstellar dust. The universe we see is young because only young light has arrived. Present is invisible. Only history shines. Even sunlight, warm on skin, bright on ocean, is history 8 minutes old. If the sun vanished now, we would not know until those 8 minutes passed. We live always in delay, But telescopes stretch that delay until time becomes landscape. We look across years as easily as valleys. What we call observation is really translation. A star's color tells age and heat. Spectral lines reveal whether hydrogen or heavier elements burn in its core. Redshift tells how fast it flees from us, how much the universe has stretched since its light began traveling. Time is written in wavelength, and telescopes are the pens that underline meaning. But telescopes are more than passive observers. They manipulate time with sensitivity. Increasing mirror size gathers more photons, more past. Cooling sensors reduce noise, letting faint history emerge. Longer exposures accumulate time like sand in a vessel. A single deep-field image might collect photons over many hours, even days, layering centuries of distance into one silent picture. We are not photographing the sky. We are collecting the past in a bowl of glass. A telescope is not a tool of sight. It is a device of memory. When Hubble first captured its deep field, astronomers expected emptiness. Instead, the darkness erupted with galaxies, thousands, maybe hundreds of billions beyond. Webb pulled the darkness further apart, revealing galaxies smaller, earlier, more fragile than any we imagined. Babies of creation, sparks from cosmic dawn. Through telescopes, we see universe as child and as ancient. We witness stars just igniting, blue hot like fresh breath. We witness red giants bloated with age, nearing collapse into heavy elements that may someday build life again. We witness supernovas, exploding like final syllables of a cosmic poem. We witness black holes, silent and star-devouring, bending time so deeply that even light cannot escape their gravity. Telescopes show us endings and beginnings superimposed, a cosmos breathing in and out. Time behaves like lungs. Every star is a breath. With instruments tuned to infrared, we peer through dust that hides stellar nurseries. With radio arrays, we hear the faint hum of cold hydrogen, unlit matter waiting to ignite. With ultraviolet and X-ray telescopes, we watch violent regions where energy tears atoms apart, where black holes feed, where galaxies collide like waves made of billions of suns. Each wavelength is a window. No telescope shows whole truth, but each reveals another page. The universe is too large for one eye, so humanity built many. The more we observe, the more we realize that looking backward is not passive. It is active engagement with existence. When we observe distant galaxies, we change nothing about them, but we change everything about ourselves. We widen identity beyond human, beyond Earth, beyond today. Time becomes dimension. We navigate not with bodies, but with attention. We travel without moving. We stand still and drift through centuries. This is why telescopes matter, not only for science, but for meaning. They remind us that present is thin, small, only one frame in an ancient film. Space holds archive of every frame before it, every story, every collision and creation. And we are one more light, one more moment, traveling outward. Right now, photons are leaving Earth, carrying image of who we are to future skies. If someone far enough away points a telescope toward us in 1 billion years, they may see no people, no cities, no oceans, only volcanic infant planet Earth. Or perhaps they will see a world full of minds who look back, just as we do. Because time is two-way mirror. We receive ancient light while sending our own onward. We are observed and observer, history and future, star and starlight. When we look into the past, we see origin of everything. And when we shine outward, we become part of that story. Another chapter, another photon crossing eternity. Telescopes let us witness what shaped us and remind us we are shaping something else. We are light in transit, past continuing forward. A telescope does not merely let us look into history, it lets history look back through us. If we think of time as river, telescopes are not boats that move upstream. They are lanterns that let us see the water that has already passed. The present flows around us unseen, while the past glimmers like sediment beneath the surface. We dip into it with mirrors and sensors, gathering fragments of history that would otherwise vanish into darkness. Through a telescope, we learn that reality is layered. The nearest stars belong to yesterday. The distant ones belong to prehistory. And the faintest galaxies belong to an era when atoms were young and space itself was just beginning to cool. The greater the distance, the deeper the memory. We do not move. Distance does the moving for us. Time becomes architecture. A telescope is doorway into rooms made of centuries. Some rooms glow with bright stars, young, fierce, full of fusion and promise. Others contain dying giants, shedding their outer layers like autumn leaves, preparing to collapse into white dwarfs or explode into supernovas. Further still lie rooms where galaxies twist, merge, clash, cosmic choreography older than Earth. And at the edges of sight, where space turns thin and red, lie first structures ever formed. We are peering into childhood of universe with the eyes of its children. It may be the most extraordinary fact about existence. We were born so late, yet we can still witness what happened at the beginning. Light is courier that refuses to forget. It carries the story of everything, across darkness, across expansion, across time. Telescopes are how we meet the courier at the door. We are late to the cosmos, but just in time for the news. Consider this. When we see a star forming in Orion Nebula, we see a moment from 1,300 years ago. When we photograph Whirlpool Galaxy, we receive a message from 23 million years in the past. And when we detect the faint blush of earliest galaxies, we see light that began traveling when the universe was less than 1 billion years old. Our existence is brief, but our reach is ancient. Through telescopes, we stretch ourselves backward. It is as if consciousness elongates like shadow under a long sunset, extending into centuries we never lived, witnessing fires we never felt, watching worlds we never touched. A telescope is extension of wonder. It takes the small human gaze and folds it through time like origami made of starlight. And still, there is another layer. Telescopes are not limited to visible light. They listen to microwaves, reading echoes of the Big Bang like distant thunder. They capture radio waves sweeping across galaxy like low music. They sense X-rays from black holes feeding, ultraviolet from newborn stars crying into existence, infrared from ancient galaxies red-shifted beyond human sight. The universe speaks in many frequencies. We built many eyes to hear every voice. Each wavelength reveals a different past. Like archaeologists brushing dust from bones, astronomers remove layers of obscurity from cosmic history. A nebula that appears empty in visible light becomes vibrant in infrared, full of newborn suns. A galaxy silent in infrared roars in radio, full of spinning black holes. No telescope lies, but none speaks whole truth alone. We understand by combining their voices. And when all voices merge, microwave, visible, infrared, radio, we see not a sky, but a timeline, a great unfolding, a canvas of memory where stars are strokes and galaxies are the painter's breath. We begin to see universe not as collection of objects, but as history written across space. We watch dawn of everything like sunrise viewed in reverse. First foreground, then horizon, then glow of earliest flames. cosmic microwave background becomes dim ember of creation. Before galaxies existed, before stars, before nuclei, telescopes allow us to approach that ember without burning. We move backward through epochs until only hydrogen fog remains. Beyond that, we cannot see, not because nothing is there, but because no light yet escaped. There are places even telescopes cannot reach, not yet. But one day, future instruments might read gravitational waves as clearly as we read photons. They may read ripples in space-time from moments older than light itself. They may see into time before transparency, the era where universe was hot plasma, glowing with infinite potential. We are only beginning. Our telescopes are not finished. They are first drafts. And we, late infants in cosmic chronology, are beginning to read our birth certificate written in starlight. Every new telescope is new page. Every deeper exposure is new paragraph. The universe is still unfolding its prologue to us. We are living near dawn, not of creation, but of understanding. As you breathe, remember, the night above is not cold emptiness, but archive of moments. Stars are letters. Galaxies are sentences. Telescopes are how we learn to read. We do not gaze into darkness. We gaze into memories so vast, it feels like future. Because when we look back far enough, we meet beginning. And beginnings always feel like something waiting to be born. Some nights, when the sky is clear and still, it feels as if the universe leans closer. Stars sharpen, darkness softens, and the boundary between now and then thins into something like breath. A telescope, even the simplest one, becomes a bridge, a slender connection between a fragile present and an ancient, unreachable past. It is easy to forget how strange this ability truly is. Every glance into the eyepiece is a form of time travel. We are not observing the universe as it exists, but as it once existed. Telescopes let us look across distances so vast that numbers lose meaning, leaving only feeling. The feeling of standing inside time instead of watching it pass. We look, and history blooms. Not written in ink, but in photons. Not carved in stone, but carried by light across endless night. When a telescope magnifies a galaxy, it does not bring that galaxy closer. It makes its memory brighter. It reveals what had always been traveling toward us, unseen, unnoticed, until our instruments were finally capable of receiving it. Telescopes do not shorten distance. They deepen it. They remind us how long light must travel to be felt. They show us how large reality truly is, how patient existence must be, how much the universe remembers. Stars are not merely points of light. They are preserved moments, preserved events, preserved chapters of cosmic evolution still unfolding in our sight. Time, once invisible, becomes visible. With each increase in mirror diameter, we gather more of that time. With each advance in sensitivity, we hear more of that light. Longer exposure means more ancient photons collected, more history captured in a single frame. Like archaeologists brushing away dust, astronomers remove darkness to reveal age hidden beneath it. And we begin to realize something profound. The night sky is not the present. It is archive. Everything we see is older than our perception. Nebulae glowing like spilled paint across black space are fossils of stellar birth. Globular clusters are preserved congregations of ancient suns, older than Earth itself. A spiral galaxy sweeping across vacuum is snapshot of rotation millions of years old. But still spinning today, unseen until its light arrives to future worlds. We watch motion that already finished. And yet, in watching it, we animate it again. When we trace the arms of an old galaxy, we are watching a moment that has ended. But we give that moment new witness, new meaning, new life. Telescopes are resurrection, done with light instead of breath. We revive what the universe has already let go. Through them, collapse becomes memory, and memory becomes vision. A star that died 1 billion years ago shines in our eyes as if alive. A galaxy torn apart by gravity speaks in faint red glow of hydrogen stretched across space. Photons are last words of ancient events, and telescopes are ears willing to hear them. We are not spectators, we are inheritors of time. And through observation, we become something more than present. We become participants in history. We do not alter past, but we witness it. And witnessing is a form of preservation. To see something is to allow it to exist again, even if only in consciousness. The universe is always older than we believe. But telescopes let us grow old with it, backwards. They teach us that creation did not happen once, long ago, then end. It is continuous, still unfolding, still sending light toward us across intergalactic dark. We look back and we see beginnings. We look deeper, and those beginnings move closer to origin still. One day, a telescope may reveal the moment before stars, before galaxies, before structure. We may approach, if not reach, the threshold of time. The first flicker of light from the Big Bang, the earliest memory the cosmos allowed to escape. And even if we cannot see beyond that horizon, the mere act of looking pushes understanding forward. Observation is not passive. It alters what we know, what we value, who we are. The moment we aim a telescope at the sky, we step outside the narrow boundaries of a single lifetime and enter timeline older than Earth. Our perspective stretches, our identity expands. We become aware that we are temporary, but connected to something that is not. We look into the past, and something ancient looks back. Not through eyes, but through light. Not with language, but with presence. As if the universe says, softly, across billions of years, remember me, and you will remember yourself. Because telescopes do not merely reveal history, they reconnect us to it. To understand how telescopes let us look into the past, we must first accept that reality is never simultaneous. Light arrives in layers, like voices from different distances calling out across a valley. The nearest speak first, the farther cry later, and the very farthest have not yet reached us at all. We stand in the center of this echo, surrounded by messages of different ages, delivered at different speeds. A telescope is how we listen more carefully, how we hear what would otherwise fade. Even the most powerful telescope cannot see the present. That is the quiet truth beneath astronomy. We are forever witnessing what has already happened. Time is not hidden. It simply travels. And the night sky is full of arrivals. A telescope is therefore not only an instrument of looking, it is an instrument of waiting. When we take deep exposures of a distant galaxy, we are not capturing a single moment. We are gathering its light over hours, days, sometimes weeks, as faint photons accumulate like snowfall in silence. We are collecting time grain by grain. The universe reveals itself only to those who can be still long enough to see it. We do not push through darkness. We allow it to open. Some of the light Webb has captured left its source before Earth formed oceans. Some before our sun existed. Some before the Milky Way took shape. We observe events that preceded every familiar thing. Not myth, memory. Not theory, evidence that traveled billions of years to reach a mirror of gold suspended in cold. We are not simply looking back. We are receiving what never forgot to come. But telescopes do more than extend vision. They extend context. When we see a galaxy far enough away, We are watching it at a younger age. And when we see thousands of such galaxies, we piece together history like mosaic. We watch universe evolve not in real time, but across a stacked panorama of eras. The nearest galaxies show maturity, structure, calm rotation. The farther ones show chaos, rapid star formation. And the oldest show only clumps of matter, raw universe before architecture. Astronomy is biography written in light. We read its chapters out of order, but telescopes allow rearrangement. Wide surveys reveal structure. Spectral analysis reveals composition. Deep field images reveal infancy. Together, they form story, not of stars, but of time itself. And perhaps the most humbling realization is this: everything we see is only first act. Beyond observable universe lies past, we have not yet been allowed to witness, not because it is gone, but because its light is still traveling. Our limit is not distance, it is time. The universe is larger than our vision, because the past is larger than our arrival. If humanity endures for another billion years, future astronomers may see galaxies invisible today. They will witness eras we cannot. They will look even deeper into beginning. They will see history we were too early to catch. Every generation inherits more past. Telescopes are time machines that grow stronger with patience. We live in an expanding archive of ancient radiance. And yet, even within our moment, telescopes have revealed something remarkable. The universe does not simply look older as we look deeper. It looks different. Younger galaxies are smaller, hotter, more chaotic. Stars form faster, die faster, recycle material into new generations. Heavy elements are rare at first, because time has not yet made enough. Early universe is like child learning language of creation, disorder becoming design, fire becoming form. We are not watching distant space, we are watching early time discover itself. And beyond that time, before galaxies, before stars, lies boundary we cannot cross with photons alone. Cosmic microwave background, the oldest light, is wall of history. Before it, universe was opaque plasma, glowing but impenetrable. Telescopes cannot see through it yet. But gravitational wave detectors hint at deeper origin, beyond light, beyond transparency. We may someday watch time before light existed. We may see universe newborn, not in memory, but in echo. We stand at frontier of yesterday, not because past is small, but because we are young in its presence. Telescopes let us age backward gradually, like climbing staircase of light fallen across eternity. Step by step, mirror by mirror, we approach the moment everything began. And standing on that staircase, one realizes we are not chasing past. We are welcoming it, because time is not behind us. It is arriving, slowly, relentlessly, like tide, like dawn. Every night, sky is a sunrise in reverse, revealing older and older moments as we look deeper. Telescopes are what turn that slow sunrise into vision, into understanding. We are present only once, but we witness past endlessly. This is how telescopes let us look into time, not by bending it, not by escaping it, but by receiving what it still sends. Light is history in motion. We do not chase the past comes to us. We are creatures born in a brief moment, yet we hold in our eyes the ability to witness billions of years beyond our lifetime. This is the paradox of astronomy. The universe is ancient and we are new, but telescopes let us meet somewhere in the middle. In that meeting, time folds, not physically, but perceptually. We do not touch the past with hands, only with sight, yet the connection feels real, immediate, intimate. When a photon hits a telescope mirror, its journey ends, but our understanding begins. Consider how improbable that moment is. A single particle of light leaves a star when dinosaurs ruled the Earth, travels through expanding space for 65 million years, avoids being scattered by dust, avoids being absorbed, avoids drifting into void, and finally lands inside a mirror we polished with human hands. Only then do we learn it existed at all. Telescopes are devices that reward patience and humility. They teach us that the universe is not something revealed quickly. It speaks slowly. It sends messages across ages. It whispers, and we listen. But only if we learn to become still. The night sky is not loud. It is an archive designed for those willing to wait. In a way, the past is not distant. It is continuous. Every star we see is part of a timeline we intersect only briefly. We arrive in the middle of stories already billions of years long. Telescopes widen that intersection, allowing us to read the chapters we missed. They show not only history, they show evolution. We watch stars grow, galaxies reshape, clusters migrate across cosmic web. Nothing in the universe is fixed. Time writes and rewrites everything, and we, observers, are written into that same story. There is something profoundly human in wanting to look back. We search ancestral lines, study fossils, preserve photographs. Telescopes are continuation of that instinct, but on scale beyond imagination. Instead of tracing centuries, we trace creation. Instead of looking for origins of family, we look for origins of matter. We are asking where everything came from, including us. When we point a telescope toward a distant galaxy, we are not only looking at stars, we are asking, how did light begin? Why did hydrogen become meaning? Why did matter learn to look back at itself? These questions do not have single answer. They are infinite, like cosmos that contains them. Telescopes sharpen curiosity as much as they sharpen starlight. They tell us not only what universe was, but what it still becomes. Because even as we watch ancient galaxies, new light is being born, new stars ignite, new stories begin their journey toward eyes that may not exist yet. Our present will one day fall as photons upon mirrors of civilizations we cannot imagine. We will become someone else's past. We give back what we receive. Right now, Earth shines into space. Our oceans reflect sunlight. Our cities glow like constellations visible from orbit. And those photons leave us, carrying this moment as record. If intelligent beings observe us from 10,000 light-years away, they will see a world where humans first began to build written language. If they look from 1,000,000 light-years away, they will see only forests and oceans. If they look from even farther, Earth might not exist at all. We are starlight in transition, and telescopes remind us that nothing seen is permanent, only traveling. The universe we observe has already changed. Galaxies we admire tonight may have merged tomorrow. Stars we study may have collapsed into black holes, but their light still arrives, like voices of ancestors telling stories from beyond the horizon. Understanding this changes how we live. It gives scale to our worries, softness to our urgency, meaning to our smallness. We are not insignificant. We are temporary participants in ancient symphony. Telescopes let us hear notes played long before audience was present. They let us follow melody backward to opening bars of creation. And in that backward journey, we learn forward truth. Time is not boundary. It is bridge. We walk it through light, step by step, wavelength by wavelength, until we stand not at edge of universe, but at doorstep of its origin. We do not arrive, but we approach. And approach is enough. Wonder lives in approach. We look into past not to escape present, but to illuminate it. Because to know where we came from is to understand where we stand, and where light continues to carry us. The most astonishing truth behind every telescope is that it allows us to see time, not space. We speak of distance, light years, parsecs, billions of kilometers. But these numbers are only shadows of something deeper. What we truly measure is age. When we calculate how far away a galaxy is, we are calculating how long its light has traveled. Space is map. Time is content. Telescopes let us read that content like script of creation. Every photon we capture is timestamp. Some hold the age of young stars burning hot and blue. Others carry signatures of ancient suns long extinguished. Some come from galaxies already merged into new forms. Some come from worlds that never survived their own beginnings. A telescope is archive of unfinished stories, and we are the readers arriving generations late, but still welcome. We look into past because past is still arriving. Imagine for a moment that you could stand at the edge of the observable universe. You would not see present, only earliest fire, a world without structure, a sky without stars, only glow of expanding plasma cooling into simplicity. Telescopes are steps toward that edge. Each generation adds another meter of mirror, another octave of wavelength, another slice of time revealed. We are slowly walking backward to dawn of everything. And yet, with every backward step, we also move forward in understanding. To witness ancient galaxies is to witness our own origin. Dust formed them. Dust formed us. In their collapse are seeds of memory. In their explosions are elements of thought. We are not separate from the past we observe. We are continuation of it. The light we see is ancient, but the eyes that receive it are new. This duality is beautiful. We explore cosmos like children reading epic written long before birth, yet somehow about us. Telescopes are how we learn that universe is not cold mechanism, but ongoing conversation between what was and what will be. Light speaks both directions, toward future and toward past. Observation is dialogue. When we gaze into telescope, we do not merely look outward, we respond. Because the photons we catch do not vanish, they reflect. They strike mirror, sensor, consciousness. They spark curiosity, theory, imagination. They inspire new telescopes, new questions, new generations of eyes. Light travels billions of years to reach us, and we send it farther, through knowledge. We do not end story of light, we extend it. Perhaps the universe wants to be seen, not to be understood completely, but to be witnessed, to be asked about, to be wondered at. Wonder is fuel for science. Telescopes convert wonder into data, and data back into wonder. It is cycle like star birth and star death, nothing lost, only transformed. Even the silence of the sky carries meaning. Between galaxies lies dark matter, gravity without glow. We cannot see it, yet telescopes reveal motion it shapes. Between starlight lies cosmic microwave background, faint echo from origin. We cannot touch it, yet telescopes feel its warmth. In the quiet between signals lies future discoveries, waiting for instruments that have not yet been built. The universe is full, even where it looks empty. And telescopes teach us to trust the unseen. They teach us that darkness is not absence. It is distance, not void. It is traveling memory not yet arrived. When we stare into blackness, we are not looking at nothing. We are looking at tomorrow's history, still en route across cosmos. We are not too late to witness origin. We are early enough to wait. In millions of years, more light will reach us. We will see farther back, deeper into childhood of reality. In billions, we may watch moment when time became transparent. We may glimpse instant before structure, before gravity sculpted matter. Telescopes are not just windows. They are clocks still filling. Future expands with every photon. And so do we. As you breathe now, think of how extraordinary this is. That glass and gold and curved mirrors can show us time unraveling. That we, brief sparks of awareness, can sit beneath an ancient sky and read message carried across eternity. That universe shares past with us freely. We look not with eyes, but with centuries. Every observation is collaboration between what was and what sees. Telescopes let us witness origin, not as legend, but as light. And tomorrow, even more past will arrive. We only need to keep looking upward, because as long as we look, history continues to come home. Light is the oldest storyteller we know. It speaks across unimaginable distances, across epochs, across eras long buried beneath cosmic evolution. We do not hear it with ears. We hear it with reflection, detection, interpretation. A telescope is the act of listening to light that left its source before our world had a name. In a way, we are eavesdropping on creation. When we look into the sky, we are not separate from what we see. We are descendants of the stars whose light we now capture. A supernova billions of years ago forged the atoms that became oceans, mountains, lungs. We are not observing history from outside. We are remembering it from within. Telescopes are the inheritance of beings who learn to look back. And looking back reshapes us. It stretches the scale of the ordinary. Days and years feel small when we hold billions of years in a single field of view. Worries shrink against a backdrop of galaxies. The present softens. Time feels less like a line and more like a sphere, everything connected, everything reaching outward and backward simultaneously. We are no longer just alive now. We are alive then. Through lenses and mirrors, we witness structure form from chaos. We see early galaxies packed tight like sparks in kindling. We watch matter gather, ignite, collapse, rebuild itself endlessly. The universe is not static painting. It is motion frozen by travel time. We are not watching distant stars. We are watching memory in transit. And yet, time we observe is only a fraction of what exists. Beyond the edge of the observable universe lies unobserved past. Light still traveling, still reaching toward us. We see only the years that have arrived, not the ones still en route. The boundary of visibility is not true limit, it is delay. With each passing moment, horizon widens. Not because space expands, though it does, but because more of history reaches us. The universe is not getting larger to the eye. The eye is growing older to the universe. Future observers will see what we cannot. They will witness epochs hidden from us by distance time. The first stars, the first galaxies, the first whisper of structure. These will come not through invention alone, but through waiting. Telescopes do not demand progress. They reveal it slowly, quietly, with the patience of light. Time is archive. Telescopes are librarians, and every photon is a book pulled from a shelf of darkness. Some books are bright, easy to read, nearby stars shining clearly. Others are faded, pages torn by expansion, distant galaxies stretched thin across redshift. Some languages we understand, hydrogen lines, supernova remnants, microwave hum. Others we have not yet learned, dark matter, dark energy, the unseen architecture of space. We know the universe not through completeness, but through accumulation. Every new telescope adds a sentence to the story. Hubble gave us structure. Webb gives us childhood. Ground-based arrays give us movement, temperature, expansion. Radio telescopes give us whisper of primordial hydrogen. X-ray telescopes show violent regions where matter meets gravity without mercy. Each reveals part of past. None reveals whole. But together, they form meaning. Human knowledge grows like galaxy, by merging. One discovery folds into the next. One image expands perspective. One faint photon becomes evidence for theories spanning generations. We do not look into telescope to find final answer. We look to extend horizon of questions. Curiosity is endless because universe is endless in memory. And that endlessness is gift, not burden. Imagine if we could see all of time at once. There would be no mystery, no wonder, no forward motion of understanding. Darkness is invitation. Distance is promise. The unseen is future knowledge waiting to be received. Telescopes let us approach that future slowly, reverently, one photon at a time. As you breathe now, feel how infinite the night becomes when framed by glass. We look and we do not reach edge. We reach beginning of reach. We travel backward until present dissolves, until only past remains, until stars themselves reduce to their earliest glow. We follow the trail of light as far as it will take us, to childhood of cosmos, to cradle of elements, to ember of first illumination. We are not at the end of understanding. We are at its dawn. Telescopes do not finish story. They open it wider. There comes a moment in every deep observation when the mind begins to stretch the way the universe stretches. Quietly, endlessly, without urgency. We start by watching light, but eventually we begin to feel time itself. Telescopes are not just lenses aimed at the sky. They are mirrors in which the cosmos sees its own reflection. And through them, we glimpse the past not as something finished, but as something still arriving, moment by moment, beam by beam. When we speak about telescopes reaching back in time, we often imagine distance like ladder rungs, each one older, each one darker. But it is more fluid than that. The past does not sit behind us, it flows toward us. We stand like shore against tide of ancient radiance, and every photon washing over us is memory delivered, not lost. We are not chasing history. History is coming home. The oldest light we see today may not be the oldest light that exists, only the oldest that has reached us so far. Tomorrow, deeper time will arrive. 1,000,000 years from now, the horizon of sight will stretch farther still. Future beings may look through telescopes and witness ages we cannot imagine. Because light we will never see is still traveling, still searching for eyes to meet. The universe is a message mid-flight. We, alive for an instant, intercept tiny fraction of it. We turn that fraction into knowledge, emotion, meaning. A telescope allows us to do more than observe. It allows us to participate. We become last stop for photons that survived stars collapsing, galaxies merging, eternity expanding. By seeing them, we complete their journey. Light was always meant to be received. You cannot hold a photon in your hand, yet you can hold the story it carries. And that is how telescopes change us. They expand the scale of empathy. We feel connected to suns that died before Earth existed. We feel awe at galaxies that will never know our name. We feel tender toward cosmos that shaped us long before we could look back. Observation softens us. It reminds us we belong to something vast. And in that vastness, there is silence, not emptiness, but potential. Telescopes reveal as much through what they cannot see as through what they can. Behind the observable universe lies memory still traveling. Behind the microwave background lies era we have never known. Behind every photon is deeper origin, unreachable for now, patient forever. We see only first chapters. Yet even those chapters are enough to reshape human identity. We are not creatures trapped in present. We are creatures with access to billions of years of memory. Telescopes transform night sky from ceiling into chronology. They turn darkness into archive. They turn stars into ancestors. We are not guests in this universe. We are heirs. As mirrors grow larger, as sensors grow quieter, as wavelengths beyond visible open to us like new senses in evolution, we step further into timeline that precedes language, biology, even atoms. We are learning to see with more than sight. With analysis, with patience, with imagination calibrated to physics. The universe speaks slowly. Telescopes let us slow down enough to hear it. In quiet observation, something shifts inside us. We begin to experience time not as sequence, but as field. Past is not behind, it surrounds. Future is not ahead, it unfolds. Present is thin place where streams of photons converge. When we look through a telescope, we are not moving through time. Time is moving through us. We are intersection. Billions of years flow into a single moment of awareness, into one human mind standing beneath endless black. Telescopes make that moment wide enough to hold the weight of stars, the glow of galaxies, the whisper of the first light. They let us feel scale, not as intimidation, but as serenity. Infinity no longer overwhelms. It comforts. Because if universe is vast, then existence is generous. It gives us history as light. It gives us future as potential. It gives us present as awareness. We are made of atoms forged in ancient furnaces, looking back at furnaces that made us. The loop is complete. Telescopes reveal not distance, but return. We look outward to find where we began. And in that discovery, we realize the past is not gone. It is arriving. Maybe the most beautiful truth hidden in telescopes is this. They do not only show us the past, they remind us we exist within it. Every photon we see tonight began its journey long before breath, language, or memory. Yet it arrived anyway. It crossed emptiness, survived gravity, endured expansion, and found a mirror, a witness, a consciousness. Light traveled billions of years for this moment. And in that moment, something extraordinary happens. The past becomes present. A galaxy that died before Earth was born becomes alive in vision. A star that collapsed into darkness blooms again in mind. A universe long finished in shape becomes young once more. Telescopes do not resurrect matter. They resurrect perspective. We are given past so we may understand now. Because to see the universe as it once was is to see ourselves as continuation of something ancient, patient, unfolding. We are not accidents. We are outcomes. We are not separate. We are expressions. The iron in blood was forged in dying stars. The hydrogen in skin was born minutes after the Big Bang. The calcium of bone was once supernova ash. Telescopes remind us we are made of everything we observe. We do not watch stars, we remember them. And maybe that is why looking into space feels like longing. We are not searching for new. We are searching for origin. We stare into light older than life, hoping to understand why life learned to see. We study the past not to escape the present, but to recognize the present as chapter within cosmic book still being written. Through telescopes we learn. Time is not distance, it is inheritance. Every observation is reunion. Every galaxy is ancestor. Every photon is relic. And the more we look, the more we change. Awareness expands. Identity grows transparent. Scale dissolves worry the way sunrise dissolves night. We become small, but beautifully, purposefully small. Not insignificant, but precise. One frame in infinite film. One note in eternal music. One thought in mind older than itself. The universe is vast, yes, but we are part of its vastness. Telescopes show us where we come from, and in doing so, they show us where meaning resides. Not in answers, but in attention. Not in certainty, but in wonder. The goal is not to see all, but to keep seeing. Not to reach the beginning, but to walk toward it with open eye and steady breath. Because the moment we stop looking, the past disappears. But as long as we look, it remains. So stand beneath the night sky. Lift your gaze. Let time fall into your eyes like rain. You are witnessing billions of years arrive. You are made of what you see. You are the universe remembering itself. And telescopes are how it opens its eyes.